Ron,
Welcome everybody. Episode number 3 of Straight Talk Commerce. Hey, it's been great. The views thrilled to be here again with Wayne Altman and our host Ian Slade. Ian, pretty amazing just how quickly it's grown, right?
yeah, we're close to 3,000 views, and just organically, thanks to everything that Wayne does over here post production. So thanks so much, Wayne.
I'm just shocked we've made the third episode. I'll be honest with you. I am just so pleasantly surprised that we are at episode 3. The response has been, we've just been giggling, man, how really cool this has been. People, we actually have an audience that's coming back. So thank you to those people that are coming back. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button if you like what you hear. If you don't, by the way, if you don't like what we're saying, be sure to give us a dislike, because that works for us too. It teaches us a little lesson.
That's right. That's right. And so Wayne, what are we talking about today?
I wanted to go into internet, what I call internet scams or business scams. I just see a proliferation of people on TikTok who are in their living room changing a diaper, or talk like a mom over coffee telling you a secret about how to make millions of dollars on the internet. And it's always irritated me that they never go into what they're talking about. We're going to go into it today. We're going to talk about it. So I think that would be a really good subject for us to discuss. What do you guys think?
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
Let's see if David will look up from his email.
I like it. I was actually researching internet scams when I want to talk about. No, I like it. Listen, I think that I do my job search strategy coaching every Friday, and one thing we talked about today was just the availability of information and how you can use LinkedIn and these other tools really to get an idea, is the company legit? Are they not legit? You know, are they trying to be, are they overconfident? Should I not go work for them? We heard some news during the HAL 9000 think tank this week that they said that Rabbit R1 looks like it's a scam. Right? They sold millions of dollars worth of of those. I even mentioned I had a couple of my LinkedIn connections announced they had new jobs there. Now it looks like it may just be overhype. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. So I think those are the types of things, right? There's the outright scams. There's companies that may have good intentions, but maybe they're just the optimistic entrepreneur. Or, you know, is it a solid, you know, place we should do business with? And yeah, you know, I think there's so many tools to research. I'm happy we're talking about this topic tonight.
Perfect. Well, here are some of the questions that came in for us. The first one is, you know, despite so many warnings out there, right? Everyone and their mother is telling you to, you know, if you don't know this person, don't send money, or make sure that you know, which company this is. Everyone has their warnings, but for whatever reason, it still seems like a lot of people are still falling for the internet business scams. So two questions. One, why do you guys think that is? And two, how can we help people avoid this, especially those in our family and friend circles?
Well, first off, the why people, I mean, that's an easy question. We have a horrible economy right now, and prices are going up. People are really stretching their budgets. They're really, you know, hurting and in need. That's one of the reasons why we did this to begin with, because we recognize that. So there's your answer. When times are really good and everybody has a job and everybody's making great money, you know, you don't need to do these little side gigs. They don't sound as tempting to do, right? The second part of that, though, is people are becoming very, very adept at trickery and making things sound better than what they actually are. And so you see a whole lot of people that normally wouldn't fall for something, you know, fall for it and waste a whole lot of money and a whole lot of time, and nothing ever comes of it.
Now, I have to admit, there was one instance where someone sent me an email pretending to be someone I knew from an organization that I worked for. And before they sent the email, they did some research and knew that this was a common request. So one of the things that we would do to thank our speakers is we would give them Apple gift cards, right? So when the request came from quote unquote Larry, like, hey Ian, can you pick up Apple gift cards for me for our speakers? I didn't even think twice, because we've done that in the past before for our speakers, right? And it legitimately, email came from Larry. But lo and behold, as I was in line at Apple, I'm like, let me double click Larry's name just to be sure. And of course, it was some, you know, XYZ at Yahoo. It wasn't obviously Larry. And I'm like, dude, someone hacked your email. I called him up and said, I literally was in line at Apple, and it just like something told me like, why wouldn't he call me first? He usually calls me. And I double clicked on the name, and lo and behold, it wasn't truly Larry. But they, to your point, they're not just willy-nilly sending out emails. They do their research. They're trying to look for a way that, you know, it sounds familiar and you don't even check. So
Yeah.
I almost got scammed myself. David, what do you think about this?
Well, look, not just, first of all, a couple things. First of all, now with AI, they're going to really be able to see what people are doing and how it
Patterns
can.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Number one, you mentioned double click. Don't double click anything. Look at their email for sure. That was smart. But again, they'll put in these little execute files you double click on anything that could, put you at risk as well. But, many of these scammy emails, I think, like we talked about earlier, check LinkedIn profiles, even just taking sentences of that email or a couple sentences, Google it. Then
Right.
there's sites like Scamorama. That's the one I used. Wayne, I don't know if you have others, right? But you can just you'll put some of these sentences or paragraphs, Google them, Scamorama will pop up. Oh, this is the latest one. So yeah, there are people out there, but just slow your roll. Another thing I think is people are optimistic, right? As Wayne said, people are hurting right now. Somebody comes up with something, you're looking at it through your, through your flowery glasses. Oh, this might be able to save me, right? And a lot of times it's not. Those are the types of things too with AI and just this information of data. They're playing off of everybody's emotions. So I think that's just another reason to just think twice and do your due diligence. Put a if you're unsure about something, throw it in the chat of one of our podcasts. We'll
Right.
track it down. We'll see if it's real.
You know what? That's a very good piece of advice. And because I'm already doing that for my wife, I hate to toss her under the bus right now, but every couple days I'm getting another TikTok from my wife going, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? 99.9% of the time, look, a lot of these are dead on. You can make money from Amazon. You can make money drop shipping. You can make money from YouTube headless accounts. These are all legitimate ways of making money. But unfortunately, and what our whole purpose here is, as far as I'm concerned, is letting people know here's how this works. It requires effort. It isn't snap your fingers and you're off to the races. It requires promotion. We look at our account right now and look, we're promoting it, that we're putting our, we are crossing our T's, we're dotting our I's, we are making sure that everything is in place. And that is a lot of work. So get ready, because it is absolutely possible to make a killing, to do great, but you're gonna have to put a little bit of sweat and a little bit of money toward that end. But 100%, most of this stuff you can do.
So David, you mentioned earlier doing due diligence. Aside from just looking up, website or doing a web search, is there anything else that folks can do to make sure that the Nigerian prince is truly legit?
Look, do a lot of Googling. Sometimes what they'll do, look at those email addresses, like you mentioned, Ian.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not as easy as XYZ at blah, blah, blah
Right,
.com.
right.
It's something where they're just leaving out a letter in the domain name, and then they've created that and sending an email from that account.
True.
Right. So there's certainly, Googling the scenarios, like I said, Googling the names of the person. But number one, trust your instincts. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Seek advice from us, from your colleagues. There are people, that are there to help you. And look, there's no rush, right? Especially if if they are coming across, oh, we have to get this done by 5 o'clock. Oh, I have to go to Costco. Use your instincts, make sure that, check with us, check with some of your colleagues. And I think that'll be a good policy.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Wayne?
Well, look, there are always going to be phishing scams. There are always going to be, Nigerian princes. There's always going to be somebody that was in a tragic car accident and left billions of dollars for anybody to just say, okay, we're all familiar with those things. The ones I'm talking about are more nefarious because they actually seem like they're legitimate. And to a younger person who is just starting out, okay, and I'm talking to my demographic right now, okay, because we look at the analytics on this account, on this channel, And we've got a lot of 18 to 35-year-olds, and they're really looking for a way to supplement their income. There are the right ways of doing that. There are the wrong ways of doing that. Stick with us. We're going to show you the right ways of building a business right here on Straight Talk Commerce.
Absolutely. So, David, I want to double click on what you said in terms of some of the red flags, right? Of these scammers. What other tricks and techniques have you seen people have used to get to, everyone from grandma who's not tech savvy to, well, even people like me that are in the tech industry and everything in between?
Yeah, look, they have too much of a story. They're trying to over convince you. Certainly there's that.
Urgency, you mentioned urgency.
Yeah,
Yes,
time
a sense of
pressure.
urgency. Listen, by this time, this has to happen. I'm going to make an unreasonable amount of money or profit. Right? So that could be shady if they're coming with that. Have conversations with people. Great. Let's schedule a time to talk.
Let's meet. I think that's another one that's
Right? But
Yeah.
but look, and now with deep fakes, even being on Zoom, there's gonna be all the new scams coming
Right.
coming forward. If you saw the story about the guy in Hong Kong that had was on a group call like this on Zoom for
Oh
all the
yeah,
other
and
people, were
yeah,
deep fake. He's
we're
like, should
deep
I
fake.
transfer the money? The fake
Yeah.
CEO, oh yes, transfer the money. I think it was like 25 million,
Man, that is crazy too. But that
right?
number one, that it worked, and number two, that he put 13, 14 people in that room in order to pull that off. And it was for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right. So I think, look, and as far as like with us, with our close friends and our family, have a safe word. Right? What's the word? I know. Because again, AI, it's growing so quickly. This week we saw OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0. We saw Gemini and all the new amazing things. Let's have a word with your mom, with your parents, with your family, your wife, your kids. Totally important. And do not email that word to each other. Let's just say that.
And the
Say
safe word shouldn't be safe.
Password.
Password. And you mentioned if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So, there, I don't know, Wayne, you're more of an expert at this than I am. All those, midnight infomercials, but wait, will help you gain, million subscribers or whatever the case might be. We'll throw in a ShamWow. Um, are all of those scams, or are some of them legit? Like how do you know which ones are true? And this kind of touches a little bit on um multi-level marketing, wherein join and all your dreams will come true and all of that. Love to
Yeah,
hear your thoughts on
none
that.
of these that you're talking about are without a certain element of truth, or no one would fall for them.
Got it.
Okay,
Got it.
so if you're talking to me about, hey, I want to go into KDP book publishing, right? Kindle Direct Publishing, that
Yeah.
is a legitimate. I have made lots of money in KDP program. And I know lots of money is relative, but I'm telling you right now, I have made lots of money in the KDP program. Now, what they don't explain is you need to.
For our viewers that don't know what the KDP program is, would you mind just explaining?
Yeah, I said Kindle Direct Publishing.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. I'm going to need you to pay attention.
I didn't put two and
closer
two
there,
together that was the acronym.
Yeah.
Right,
so Amazon has what is called the KDP program, Kindle Direct Publishing. It's self-publishing. You have the option of print on demand. You have the promise of delivering a book of electronically. You can make a good living fortunes can be made in that program. And by the way, you don't even have to write a book in order for that to take place. You can make a planner, you can make a calendar, you can make a blank recipe book, and sell tons of those books just by redecorating the cover. Now, is that possible? Yes, it is possible. I know people who are currently doing it and doing very well for themselves. But what they do not tell you is how to set it up, B, how to promote it, because there is a way of promotion. Anything that is worth doing, you need to promote that thing. That's what I am talking about here. People need to think about how much time do I have to devote to this project. Some are more time consuming than others. So while it's not a scam, it is definitely something that you need to consider when you are deciding, is this the right business for me? I love doing it, but do I need to spend way more time, or do I have the time to devote to this or not?
100% true.
And I think, and by the way, anything involving gift cards is another scam. But you're right, Wayne. I think with books, we actually had a whole book conversation this week. Just being a published author, Wayne's written 6 or 7 books now. That gives you, credibility, right? And I think that, when you can, and it's not just putting a book up, it's how do you promote it, using a lot of these things, attaching it to your funnel. These are all important.
I mean, there are currently 50, 60 million books on Amazon that you can purchase, and the libraries are full of them. And then you have books that are in the public domain. So, I mean, there's a lot of books to choose from. And if no one knows about your book, guess what? No one can buy your book.
All right, let's jump back in here. So, I've actually tried some of those multi-level marketing companies before, and I've had some success to it. But you're absolutely right, Wayne. You get what you put in, right? This idea of putting in an hour's worth of work a week and reaping 40 hours worth of income is not realistic. It's more the reverse. You put in 40 hours of work and you might get an hour's work of income, especially when you're beginning. And establishing those networks and keeping those networks alive takes a lot of work. Okay. Next question here that we have from the audience: are promises of high returns with little or no effort always indicative of a scam, or are there legitimate exceptions? Ooh, it's a good one.
Look, here, I'll start. Probably it is, but not always, right? I had many friends in Bitcoin that were in very early. But I think it was scam-ish. I didn't take it seriously. Yes. Did I miss the boat on many growth areas of crypto? For sure. Do your due diligence, right? Technology is changing and evolving, but I'd say 9 times out of 10, if the returns are too high, if it sounds good to be true, if you don't have to work to earn what you're getting, probably shady. Wayne, what do you think?
Today's competitive job market, simply applying for roles isn't enough. Let me show you a smarter approach. Hi, I'm David Leeton with over 30 years of executive search expertise. Together, we'll unlock hidden opportunities. By leveraging the Woody Network and LinkedIn, we'll target companies on the rise where your skills truly shine. Let's explore unadvertised roles in growth-focused companies, aligning your aspirations with thriving organizations. Together, we'll craft a personalized strategy to connect you with the career opportunities you deserve. Experience a tailored approach that goes beyond traditional job hunting, paving the way for your professional success. Join me on this journey to unlock your full potential and secure a fulfilling role in a company you admire. Let's navigate the job market together, leveraging my expertise to guide you towards your dream career path. It's time to step into a future where your professional journey is defined by purpose and passion. Let's make it happen. Discover a new way to approach job hunting, tailored to your unique strengths and ambitions. Your success story starts now. When you are ready, contact us at witty.com.
Well, promises of high returns, that's what everybody wants. And I'm always looking for promises of high returns. Always indicative, no, that's the goal, right? I mean, if I only got back out of something the effort that I put in, I'm not interested. I want to put in some effort and get way more back. That's the whole goal of what we're talking about here. If you open a Shopify store and you put a ton of effort into that store, you should hopefully, the goal is to get back a ton of profitable profit from that, right? I mean, that's the goal. So no, it's not always, it's not always indicative of something that's too good to be true. What's too good to be true is when you look at something and realize no matter how much effort I put into this, it will never return to me what the effort that I put in or the money that I put in. Or if it says for no effort, for no promotion, for no monetary investment, I'm going to get these huge returns. No, bro, that's not what's going to happen. Okay. There is no example of that I can think of where that would be true.
Absolutely. Otherwise, everyone else would be doing it. And then, it's not an opportunity anymore. So, David, you mentioned earlier about, we need to have this by 5 o'clock, that sense of urgency. Now, Wayne, in one of our episodes, you talked about, when you're starting a business, there also has to be urgency in how you promote things, and you want to keep that momentum going.
Yep.
How can, someone who's just starting out, it's their first business, how can they differentiate between legitimate urgency and maybe just some pressure tactics from someone who's trying to get them into a business?
Well, look, I do this all the time. If I have a limited supply of something, I need to let my customers know that this supply of this is limited. If I have a limited supply of something at a certain price, that is also something I feel that my customers should know. If I want to run a special, I'll give you Melody Clouds, for example. Okay. Melody Clouds right now, we have a $2.99 for the first 2 months. So $2.99 a month for 2 months. Then it goes to $5.99. I am doing that as an inducement to try my app. It's a fantastic app. Tons of content on that app. But I also know that it is not on the tip of everyone's tongue. I'm introducing it. It's an introductory thing that I'm doing. So that to me is a legitimate way of applying, not pressure, but applying, hey, for a limited time only, I'm going to offer you a lower price in order for you to try my product. Then the product's going to go to its normal price.
Speaking of price, how about opportunities wherein there's either an ask for payment up front, or before we proceed, put in your credit card? How can folks, both consumers, differentiate between scams, and also, let's say that you're trying to get into business with someone and they're asking for put up the 20% up front, and then we'll show you some of the goods. When is that legitimate? What are some red flags there?
That's the pressure. It has to be done by a certain time. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we find ourselves in that spot, and I just think no rush, being present, that if they're coming off like they're pressuring you. If there's a timeline, you're in no rush. That's certainly a tactic I've seen over and over again.
Look, most products that you purchase, if you're going to go to the grocery store, you're going to gather the products, you're going to pay for them, you're going to bring them home. If you go to a restaurant, however, you sit down and you eat, and then you ask for the check. So, there is a difference between those things, and it also applies to business. Maybe you have someone that is going to help you do analytics on your company. Okay. Well, they're going to need to do the analytics and show you, but there's sometimes when you're going to have to pay for that up front. So there's going to be a certain amount of trust that you're actually paying someone to do a service. Look, a lot of people in this, e-commerce business tell you that they know a lot about the business. And so it is going to be very, very hard if you don't get referrals to find those people that actually know what they're talking about, especially when it comes to advertising, especially when it comes to analytics, inventory, teaching you about the business. You're going to need to see something from them that shows that they actually know what they're talking about. And the three of us, we know people who do this very frequently. Hey, I know how to do this. And then when they get the check, you never see them again.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how some people have such great skills to sell us on, they can be a salesperson or they're a great marketer.
Right.
It's like sell the customers like that, not just us, So beware.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I've gotten to the point where, look, if I've done business with you before, you're going to get a check from me and I'm going to tell you what I need you to do. If we've never done business before and you're not coming to me from a very trusted source, you're going to have to do the work, show me the work, and then I'm going to pay you for the work. Those are the only ways that I do business.
Right. Speaking of different business models, you were showing, David, I think it was the other night, this group where you sign up, you have to be a millionaire first to qualify, and they have all these products. I'm certainly surprised by different business models, especially ones that you have to subscribe to, and we'll show you how to get rich, and we have all these materials for you. And lo and behold, the person that is conducting that seminar, is driving around with a very humble car, and and there's nothing to indicate, they're working out of their 1-bedroom apartment. But let me tell you how to make 10 million. So it's amazing how, that's been around for decades. And to your point, Wayne, I guess when the economy, it's heading south, people try different things, and folks that promise, get rich quick, have an audience. What do you think about, you know, business models like that? And what can people do to figure out what is legitimate? I think there are truly legitimate groups that can help you, and there are those that aren't helpful. How can you figure out which ones to join?
Look, I think talk to people. Some of these, kind of community-driven learnings, mentorship programs, that type of thing. They'll be successful if you want them to be successful and you're going to engage, right? Or a lot of times we could want to blame the leader.
Mhm.
How many people went through something like a Tony Robbins? Maybe they paid, tens of thousands of dollars, didn't get the results that, maybe 70% of the people in that class did. Is that his fault? Are people not ready? Are they just trying to put themselves in a position? I don't know. I mean, listen, all this stuff's just about accountability, right? We choose what we get. So look, I think when you're talking about programs like that and let me, even though I have a shit product and no one wants to buy it, let me go to a seminar on how to sell things, right? It may not be that. So I think getting feedback, doing research, and just, talking to people is just so valuable.
What do you think, Wayne?
Well, I mean, let me be careful here because we are setting up a Straight Talk Commerce seminar for September. I'm looking at venues right now. I'm negotiating places, and I want our community to be very aware that we are going to be bringing both venture capitalists, other sources of revenue, on top of the lessons that the three of us go in to teach. So whether you have a business already and you're looking for help or you're looking for funding, or you have an idea and you don't know which method is going to be the best one for you to produce this idea, this seminar is going to help you at least solidify which way to move forward. So I want to be very, very careful when we're talking about this because listen, sometimes you go to a seminar, you pay your money, it's a lot of money, and you get absolutely vapor. You don't even know where to start, where to go next. Other times you go to a seminar and they bring you value and golden eggs are just laid everywhere around you. And you come away knowing, okay, wait a minute, that was the best $100, $250 that I've ever spent. Because while I didn't come away with a top-notch idea, I know now how to produce one, and I know how to take my next steps to move forward. And now I can shed all of the crabs in a bucket that are trying to bring me down and telling me that I can't do something. The hell I can. Absolutely I can. I can move forward now, and I've got I've got the tools. I have the support system behind me. It was the best money that I ever spent. That's what I hope that the Straight Talk Commerce seminar is going to be bringing to people. So look for that. So look, there are both things. There are cars that are absolute lemons, but there are vehicles that are sweet rides. So there you go.
And I want to talk a little bit about Witty too. The community has been around since 1989, and it's almost hard to be around for that long if all you're doing is scamming people. You can, what is the adage? You can fool one person all of the time, some people sometime, but not all people all the time. So, Witty is a great community, and people are learning and growing, and you can only grow over time if it's authentic. So,
I want
also,
to add something to that. I
yeah.
have been incredibly impressed with that community. And I'm very, very proud to be helping and to, have that as our backbone. I mean, seriously, even when it was, in its former stage, it is just such a great resource. And I don't see that very often, Ian. I do not. What Dave has done, I have to commend him as much as it hurts my mouth to do it. I have to commend him on producing something that actually brings people into a community and gives them the tools to create something better and to make them comfortable in what it is they're doing. So seriously, David, if people haven't checked it out, they need to go and look and see for themselves what you've created and become a member, actually.
WITI.com. So, all right.
Look, I think that as far as costs go, right? Sometimes, if we sell it for less, will people want to buy? If we sell it for more, will they be more committed, right? So I think pricing's an interesting thing, and I think as we go through episodes, we'll certainly talk quite a bit about pricing.
Speaking of pricing and legitimacy, a lot of people point to, hey, we have a A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. We're certified with FTC. What do people have to know about these ratings, and can scammers legitimately get these ratings?
I think that sometimes you get a very good flavor of the type of business that you're dealing with. I think in some locations, the Chamber of Commerce, the Better Business Bureau, the Ripoff Report, I think in some cases, they can give you a very good flavor of how this individual or how this company does business. I do not personally think Yelp that's enough. I don't think that Better Business Bureau, or I don't think that that's enough. I do a very deep dive, or what I consider to be a very deep dive, and look for legitimate complaints against a business before I go crawling into bed with them. It just makes perfect sense. And I do that with individuals as well. When I'm introduced to a new individual, I want to get to know them. And so I'll go on LinkedIn and find out what they're, or I'll go online and find out if there's any comments about them. Not doing that really sets you up, not just for failure, but for punishment for not doing it. You can be punished severely for finding people or associating yourself with people who are scam artists or who are out to actually hurt you.
Very true. Very true. We've been talking about how there are business models that too good to be true, get rich quick. For those that are a little bit more nuanced, what are some of the ways to make sure that a business model is sustainable? It's something you can do, over time, and not just, something that pops up today and is gone tomorrow.
Uh, communicate, be agile, listen, do a lot of talking to who your stakeholders are. For many businesses, that can be different. Get testimonials, right? I think one thing on the last point you made, Ian and Wayne, right? So many of this AI now, they're just kind of auto putting up all these 5-star reviews with fake thing, right? It's like, oh, this company has 1,000 5-star reviews. You certainly want to look for things. I think especially, look for products that are being used. But if something, it's like, again, if it seems too good to be true, just tread carefully out there.
Look, as far as businesses go and sustainability, we live in an age where technology is increasing exponentially. Okay. There is really no way that, cotton farmers knew that the cotton gin was coming. So, like textiles, or whether the .com boom, all those things are always going to happen, and they're happening at a much higher frequency now. So let's give you an example. Okay. Before I started this journey, I worked for a luggage company, and they thought they had a very sustainable business. Well, guess what? COVID happened and no one was traveling. And so that perfect sustainable business very quickly was in jeopardy. Drop shipping, e-commerce, Kindle Direct Publishing, you are at the mercy of the markets. And anytime that you are at the mercy of the markets, you need to pay very close attention to what's going on around you. So is your business sustainable? Yes, if. That's what I look at. Yes, if. Find out what are the factors that would make this an unsustainable business. And how likely are we to go through that thing?
That is great advice. So for people who are listening to this either in their cubicle, driving home from work, and they're trying to figure out, okay, David, Wayne, haven't started a business on my own, trying to figure out what business model would be right for me. What are some of the things that people listening to this could think about to figure out, what business model to go into, what business to go into, and what is right for them? Are there any pointers that you guys can give our listeners?
What do you think, Dave?
I think do something that inspires you, that you like doing, right? I think that's key, right? If you know, you've probably heard the saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Right? Entrepreneur. Oh, you know, I always hear, oh, you have your own business, you're an entrepreneur. Like I'm on some beach having margaritas or something. Right? That just means a lot of times you're 24/7 until you really get the thing going and everything's on you. Wayne will answer his call at all hours of the night or day if one of his customers is calling and they need support, right? And I think all three of us are like that. So, yeah, just make sure it's something that aligns with your purpose and your values, and you'll do great.
That is why you and I are doing this podcast together, because I made a promise a long time ago that I would strangle the next person that told me, do what you love. And so now I get to strangle you. My advice to you is find, if you can monetize what you love, do it. Because
Right.
if what you love cannot be monetized, or if you cannot monetize what you love, then it makes no sense to try to turn that into a business. I
Right.
know what
I'm
you
not,
mean.
I wasn't,
I,
hold on. Go ahead.
I know what you mean, David. And I agree with, listen, you don't want to do something you hate. Okay. That's called a job. And you don't want a job. Nobody wants a job. I understand that. And I know that I was using that to be funny. I know what you mean. And my point to you is find something. This is my advice to my kids. Find something you can tolerate that you can monetize and make a handsome living do it. So if you like to write, find a easy. We find a way to monetize your writing. If you like to act, if you're good at influencing, we can monetize that. It's easy to monetize. But if you like ripping the wings off flies, very hard to monetize that. So let's find for you a better hobby, shall we?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was listening to Scott Galloway the other day, and he was talking about um instead of sheerly focusing on passion, focus on talent. You have to understand what is it that you're really good at, and you can put in 10,000 hours developing that talent. And once you can get to a point that you've mastered that talent, then it's something that you'll enjoy, and then the passion will come. So you have to focus on a skill that the market requires, not
You
just,
bring up such a good point.
yeah.
Anyone who has ever been around me or been in a car with me knows I love to sing. But there is no way that I would be able to ever monetize my singing. I have no talent at doing it. Absolutely no way you're going to pay for, an album of me doing what I call singing. But I love to do it. So
Right.
that is a very good illustration of what we are talking about here. And some things I love to do, it's better that I don't get paid to do it.
Mhm.
And I let your mind do whatever. I'm just saying there are certain things that look, if I got paid for everything that I loved, okay, it may not be healthy. There are plenty of people on YouTube that do mukbangs, and they love to eat, and they love to have people watch them eat, and their health deteriorates dramatically because they're shoving cake in their face. That is not you talk about sustainable, that is not sustainable. You may love to do it, but it is not healthy for you particularly to do it, okay? But yeah, your point is very, very well taken.
Right. And and look, right. And you make great points too, Wayne, as far as not everything we love to do, but I think it's working in industries that inspire us. Right. If we look at Ian, he started as an ICU nurse. He's a he takes care of people. Now he's figured out a way to work in tech in that industry. So now he can, grow a business within that. So I think that's more, what I was talking about, right? And there's a lot of new things where there's opportunities.
So I'll end this with a question for Wayne. Um, as we're looking at business models, as we're looking at the changing landscape because of AI, technology, machine learning, robotics, um, what can you do to make sure that your business is future proof for the technologies that are coming up? Or is that even possible?
Yeah, I don't think that I own several different businesses, and I don't think any of them are future proof. I think they're right now proof. I think that they're great businesses for me to be doing at the moment.
Right.
And I am always on the guard, always watching to see, okay, what's my exit strategy if things go heels up? Okay. I don't like the idea of any of my little babies going away. Some make more money, some make less money, and are almost not worth it to anyone but me to keep trying to grow this thing. Okay.
Right.
But they're still interesting to me, and I use the technology to my benefit. We've talked about this before. If I get an email in French, I can read French because I have a translator that will let me do that. So
Right.
my eye is always on globally. I want to bring as many people from around the world. I find the best places to market, the best places that people are interested in these products. And that's a puzzle to me. That is exciting to me. And I can sell anything to people as long as as long as it's worth something. I want to make sure that there's a value for them. Anytime I'm in a business and my only way to profit is to screw you, I'm not interested. That I just cannot see that being a sustainable thing. However, there are tons and tons and tons of other things that I can do with my time that are going to be of mutual benefit. And that's what I am interested in.
Awesome. And David, you're at the heart of cutting edge AI. So for, again, people who are listening to this, they're at their cubicle, driving home, they're trying to figure out what can I do? There's so many tools out there. Okay, I'll start with what I'm good at and maybe the market needs it, but how can I incorporate AI and these other tools into my business model and strategy?
Well, look, first of all, it's a brand new world and things are changing on a daily basis. That's why, as part of our community, we have the two generative AI think tanks every week. And how do you stay current? You know, you mentioned a lot of the technology innovation that's there. The pandemic just happened a few years ago. It kind of forced companies into the original promises of the internet, which was remote work and how you can do things with less. So, you know, I'd say it's, you know, a lot of these things combined. How do we look forward as really a blank canvas and see how we can leverage the new technology, the new ways of working, right? You know, another thing I talk about, you know, for those of our people, of our community members that are looking for their next opportunity, figure out what companies you want to go to, right? Or who do you want to do business with? You create a great product, work with companies that you value, that are in alignment with your goals and objectives. Now, you know, if one thing that happened with the pandemic, the world got smaller, right? We're sitting in everybody's living room and their family and this and that. To say everybody's going to work from 9 to 5 and this and that, when was that created? Right? I think we see a lot of the companies, let's bring people back, blah, blah, blah. They're automating things. You know, what we try to do is empower our people with AI. How can they, you know, how can we double our staff by teaching them, providing training without, you know, having to bring in more people? So I think companies that do that will stay current and stay in business. The ones that don't can have a tough time.
Absolutely. So,
I make a suggestion. Hold on, Ian. I want to make a
go for it.
suggestion. Because Dave is a very good resource for what you were just asking.
Right.
Probably one of the best resources that I know of. as far as tools, AI tools, what's available, what works, how to use them. I mean, David Layton is who sends me information, who teaches me and tells me about stuff. So my suggestion to us, the three of us, is next episode, we talk about those tools that are going to help our listeners be more productive, create entirely new streams of income, because those tools exist and we use them. You know, CapCut and Descript and all of these tools that I use and David uses to create what you're looking at. I want to have an episode where we go over every one of those tools and actually provide quite a bit of benefit. So if you're going to be paying attention, I suggest next episode, that's what we do. The episode is about.
Awesome. Well,
Sounds like
before we go, speaking of tools, let's try out this tool as we close out. So guys, if you've lasted this long, thank you so much.
Do you need a way to reduce your stress and anxiety? Music can have a profound impact on you emotionally and physically. Music can produce healing and allow you to deal with trauma and painful situations. With 8,000 hours of binaural beats, solfeggio, guided meditation, and 17,000 audiobooks, Melody Clouds places everything in one single place. Sign up for a 60-day trial for just $2.99, then $5.99 monthly. Our yearly membership is $59.99 for a very limited time.